Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty ambitious. Not just a new computer, but a device its creators say will completely redefine personal computing. They're calling it agentic computing. Big claim.
It is a big claim, but, the sources we've looked at suggest they might actually have the tech to back it up. We're focusing on the Horizon Pro computer, and it runs the Humane One operating system. This comes from Humane, a Saudi AI company, and they've got significant backing from the Public Investment Fund. Their aim, a world-class productivity system.
Right, so our mission today is to kind of cut through the hype, understand two main things. First, the tech foundation. How does the hardware deliver the sort of dedicated AI performance this system needs? Because it sounds like it needs a lot. And second, the really radical part. What actually happens to your productivity when AI agents just replace your traditional apps? I mean, that challenges how pretty much everyone has used a computer for, what, 30, 40 years?
Exactly. It's not just, oh, it's faster. It's a whole conceptual redesign, moving away from managing tools like apps to managing outcomes.
Okay, let's unpack this then. If we're talking about continuous AI running things, we have to start with the engine, right? The power. What processor is actually anchoring this Horizon Pro?
Okay, so it's the Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite. Now, anyone following chips knows this family is built specifically for on-device AI. The key part isn't really the standard CPU or GPU, though they're there. It's the Advanced Neural Processing Unit, the NPU. That NPU is dedicated purely to running AI models right there on the machine, locally.
And the performance claims around that NPU, well, they make headlines, don't they? We're hearing things like speeds exceeding the human brain by 100 times in AI capability. But, as smart consumers, what does that really mean in practice?
Yeah, that 100 times number grabs attention. But the practical side is, I think, more interesting. It basically means the system can run really complex large language models, like the Alan model we'll get into at speed, on the device itself. That capability is the real game changer here. It means less reliance on the cloud for every complex request. That's huge for speed, for reliability.
And for security, presumably.
Exactly. Security, too. And they're saying they've managed this while being really efficient.
Right. The sources mention, what, 40% less energy consumption compared to similar systems?
Yeah, 40% less energy. And that efficiency seems to be kind of the cornerstone of their whole design philosophy. Think about it. If you have AI agents running constantly, using that much less power means less heat, much better battery life, and just overall stability for these continuous AI tasks.
And that power saving must feed directly into the physical design, right? Supporting this mobile AI lifestyle they seem to be aiming for. This isn't some massive desktop replacement, is it?
No, not at all. It seems built for people on the move, power users. We're talking 32 gigs of RAM, a full terabyte SSD, so plenty of space for local models, fast access. The screen sounds high-end, too. 14-inch AMOLED, 2.8K resolution, 16:10 aspect ratio. They're definitely not skimping on the visuals while they optimize for this agentic stuff.
But the real-world usability hinges on those mobility claims. That 18-hour continuous work battery life, that sounds almost too good to be true. How do the sources say they actually achieve that kind of endurance with an NPU potentially running all the time?
Well, they emphasize the synergy, the link between the hardware, that efficient Snapdragon X Elite, and the specialized OS Humane One. Because the chip is efficient and the OS is streamlined to feed the NPU directly, not bog down the CPU. That's how they claim they can sustain that long window. Plus, things like instant wake-up, advanced cooling for stability when you're pushing, and yeah, standard stuff like Wi-Fi 7, a 1080p camera with a privacy shutter are baked in.
Okay, so the silicon seems built for purpose. Secure, fast, efficient. But all that power only matters if the OS genuinely changes the experience. And this is where it gets, well, really interesting. Moving from apps to agents. Tell us about that.
Right. This is the big break from how we normally work.
Yeah.
The Humane One OS is built on Windows ARM, by the way. It moves away from that classic desktop metaphor. Finding icons, launching separate programs, calendar, spreadsheet, photo editor.
So instead of clicking on Word, then Excel, then Outlook,
Yeah.
you're dealing with something more like a super smart assistant.
Pretty much, yeah. Agentic computing, as they call it. The OS presents this unified, adaptive interface. It tries to anticipate what you need. You give it a goal, maybe type it, maybe say it, and the AI agent figures out the steps and executes the whole process using its internal smarts and resources.
Okay, walk me through an example. Let's say I need to do a complex project report. How does that work without opening 7 different apps?
Okay, good example. Imagine writing a big report using info from, say, 3 different documents, and then you need to schedule a follow-up meeting about it normally. You'd open your browser, maybe a PDF reader, your word processor, maybe PowerPoint, your calendar, juggling windows. With an agent, the idea is you just tell it. Draft a report summarizing these 3 files, create some slides on the key points, and schedule a meeting with the team for next Tuesday at 2 p.m. The agent then handles the reading, the summarizing, the writing, the slide creation, even sending the invites. It pulls all those separate tasks together.
That definitely makes the concept clearer. But you mentioned it's built on Windows ARM. Now, historically, Windows on ARM devices have had, let's say, challenges with compatibility for older traditional Windows apps. Is that going to be a headache here, or does this agent model kind of bypass that whole issue?
That's a really sharp question, especially for experienced users. And the sources suggest it's designed to mitigate that problem because Humane 1 pushes most tasks toward these intelligent agents operating within this unified AI framework. The user doesn't often need to directly interact with traditional old-school Windows desktop apps. The agent takes the request, uses its own logic, maybe accesses data from other sources, but it delivers the result within its own interface. So it strategically sidesteps needing perfect compatibility for every single legacy by 86 application for your day-to-day workflow.
Oh, that's quite a clever way to engineer on a known limitation.
Ah.
Now let's talk strategy. A big point in the sources is the system's deep capability in Arabic. This feels like more than just translation.
Oh, absolutely. It's a core strategic element. The system integrates the Alam large language model.
Oh.
And crucially, this LLM was developed in Saudi Arabia locally. It's not just a generic global model with an Arabic language pack added on. It's tailored specifically for the nuances, the cultural context, the data needs of the Arabic language and region.
And what does that give the user beyond just better translation? What's the advantage?
2 main things, I'd say. A genuinely better user experience and strategic compliance. First, that localized intelligence means complex tasks, maybe drafting specific types of documents. Research in certain fields should be handled with more accuracy and cultural relevance than a generic model could manage. Second, and this is vital for businesses and governments, it boosts data sovereignty.
And that loops back to the NPU, the on-device processing we talked about earlier.
Exactly, because the model can run locally, and it's designed for flexible work modes. They highlight a local offline mode. This is critical. It ensures data privacy, meets digital sovereignty rules. Sensitive data doesn't have to leave the device or even the country. But if you do need massive scale for some analysis, there's a hybrid mode. It combines local speed with cloud power, but importantly, the user stays in control of where the data goes.
That level of control, security, and performance, it leads us to the market. Who's actually going to buy this? It sounds like more than just tech enthusiasts.
Yeah, they seem to have clear targets. For enterprises, the pitch is all about efficiency and digital transformation. The idea is AI agents can automate so much admin, integrate processes. Companies could transform faster without massive IT projects integrating dozens of different software bits.
And for individuals, students maybe.
For them, it's pitched as a massive efficiency boost, supporting creative work, helping with homework, complex research. It promises to basically consolidate all those separate tools a student or a professional juggles into this one unified, very efficient agent system.
Okay, which brings us neatly to the business model, because this sounds just as disruptive as the tech itself. Let's talk cost. Free hardware updates. That sounds, well, almost like fantasy marketing. What are the sources really saying about the long-term cost of this subscription versus just buying a laptop?
Yeah, this is where Humane is really trying something different. They're changing the whole economic relationship. You get the device via a monthly subscription that covers the AI services, software updates, the usual stuff. And they claim this model works out about 40% cheaper than what major competitors charge for similar enterprise-level AI and cloud services.
But the hardware part is the kicker.
Right, it really is. The subscription includes options for leasing the device. And yeah, the most eye-catching part is offering free hardware updates as part of a longer-term plan. They're essentially trying to take the burden of rapid tech obsolescence off the user. So you're not buying a specific box that's outdated in 3 years. You're subscribing to a productivity platform that keeps improving.
Wow. So instead of owning a tool, you subscribe to, like, a continually upgraded capability.
Yeah.
That's a huge shift, philosophically and financially.
Precisely. It changes the computer from a capital expense, something you buy, to more like a utility service, something you subscribe to. For businesses, that could massively simplify budgeting. For individuals, it lowers that big upfront cost of getting into high-performance computing.
And tying back to their national focus, they're making a targeted investment in education, too.
The sources mention 500 Horizon Pro units are being given to university students. It's part of an initiative to get this tech into the hands of the next generation of innovators early, build familiarity, create a talent pool comfortable with this agentic approach right from the start.
So when you piece it all together, the dedicated hardware, the Agentic OS trying to solve app headaches, this innovative subscription model, the picture becomes clearer. This platform seems laser-focused on delivering results, not making you navigate the process through countless different software windows.
Yeah, it's about consolidating potentially hundreds of apps into one smart, unified AI experience. And critically, running much of it locally for speed and security, it really feels like they're trying to define a new category.
So what does this all mean for you listening to this?
Hmm.
Okay, the rise of agentic computing promises incredible efficiency, automating scheduling, drafting, complex research, all that stuff. But it begs a really important question. If AI agents handle all the routine operational legwork, what becomes the human role? In the office, in the classroom? What skills, maybe critical thinking, creative direction, managing the AI, emotional intelligence become paramount when agents manage the operations?
That's a key question. And beyond the human skills, think about the business model itself. This idea where hardware and software are just continuously updated via subscription. It really challenges our whole concept of digital ownership versus just having access. This Saudi-led platform, the Horizon Pro and Humane One, it's going to be a fascinating test case for that whole model on a global scale.
Definitely food for thought. Please do share your own thoughts and maybe suggestions on this emerging tech in the comments below. We're really interested to hear how you think agentic computing might change the way you work or study.
And yeah, if you found this deep dive useful, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, maybe hitting that notification bell. Sharing it helps others stay informed on these big tech shifts too.